like and subscribe. Now, what's that one disgusting thing that everybody except you seems to like? Contemporary books that focus on romanticizing abuse. Terrible writing advice. Made a video on this. Alpha heroes. And the sh these writers put into these books really shocks me. He's always sarcastic in a humorous way. But JP sounded legitimately angry throughout the video when talking about the glorified abuse in romance novels. You know what I think is sick and weird? Why do some people take pictures of their dead/dying family members, like at the hospital with my aunt, and it's pictures of someone's aunt on breathing tubes unconscious? It makes no sense to me why you would take pictures and put them on social media. Boiled okra. Okay, this is a special point southern answer to this question. It's so good when it's breaded and fried though, right? It becomes a deceptively different thing. Deep fried butter and deep fried mayonnaise. It sounds so gross, but everyone seems to eat it at state fairs or amusement parks. Deep fried mayonnaise. That's either the most American or the most Scottish thing I've ever heard. People eat deep fried butter, what the F? Surely that would taste disgusting. It's basically very buttery bread, and they use salted butter, so it has taste. Those social media videos of food being made with so much heavy and greasy you know, the type where it's a whole burger, cooked into a quesadilla with a pound of cheese, then fried and covered in 3 different sauces. I hate those videos, because sometimes the food starts looking good, then they add more, and more, and more. Then they always get out a stupid squeezy bottle and coat every inch in sauce. And I'm sitting here like, holy she ruined it 5 steps ago, yet you're still going. You'd like the comic book Get Jiro. Weird dystopia fiction, where chefs are allowed to enforce quality food control at the point of a sword, if they so choose. Most of the videos are the same. Pick some kind of base, bread/potato/noodles, add bacon/ham/minced meat, add cheese/egg, bake it, repeat step 2, or 3, or both, add parsley or chives, for decoration, straight to Facebook/Instagram. Hug on that stupid trend of straight mashing the food, making it ooze, as if that is in any way appetizing at all. All the worse, if it features someone taking a bite and gurning down the camera with a moronic happy face, over exaggerating their chewing, with some far layered chewing which is invariably disgusting. It's Taco Town. Games designed to be addictive instead of fun to suck money out of you. I like my addictive games to be designed to be as fun as possible with a one-time upfront payment. Thank you very much. I could buy 10 absolutely amazing masterpieces I could spend tens of hours with per game, and remember them for decades for the price of a bunch of energy and cosmetics in some shitty mobile game with a dev budget lower than the coffee budget of the advertising department. Yeah, I hate it. The weird addiction-focused style of games seem to be seeping into AAA titles as well, and it has really been bothering me. This is because microtransactions are disgustingly effective. Yeah, I work in the industry, and I have been telling people since the beginning we as players need to fight these microtransactions. Fight this energy-based limiters and all this clearly pay-to-win mechanics now. When it's in its infancy no one listened, they figured they can play AAA games and get away from it. I knew that it would eventually seep into AAA games. Why would AAA ignore millions in daily profit from transactions vs $60 upfront? To be clear, I worked on a project that had 25 members. That project made over 1 million transactions per day on only one of the 3 platforms it was available. Minimum transaction $1, maximum $100, and the maximum one was bought plenty of times. In other words, the entire mobile games industry. Mobile games are 99% hot garbage. I hate even just watching the ads for these terrible games. It's been over a decade and the mobile games industry still is not even close to being focused on making a quality, fun game, as opposed to just wanting to make a quick money grab. Shout out to Disc Golf Valley, though. Best mobile game I've ever played. Still very much supported by the devs, awesome community, and I've never seen one advertisement after 1000 hours of playtime. There was a sweet spot around like 2012 where we had some devs that found cool ways to make the touchscreen mechanics really sing, and then microtransactions brought it all down rather quickly. No point in making a good game when you can make a lucrative game. So much media is now designed like this. Kids TV, social media, Most reporting shows, news, sports, and entertainment. Everything is just going for highest views. Even toys are like it. So many of the toys I see when my kids watch TV are collection based where it's random in a packet. It's loot boxes I roll. Those mukbang videos that have millions of views. My roommate used to watch these all the time and they were so effing disgusting to me. Makes me feel sick watching people stuff their faces and chew so loudly with their mouths wide open. Disgusting. Yeah, I get food travel vlogs. I get food reviews. Hell, I even get competitive Eat 'em at Stony challenge vids. But seeing people eat huge amounts of food while chewing loudly, smacking their lips off, and, most irritating for me, sucking in food that's too much for a single bite. Nope, I don't even find them disgusting. Just boring as hell. Why would I want to sit here and just watch someone eat? I don't see how that could possibly be entertaining. I like the trend comes from South Korea, where people usually don't eat their meal alone. It was originally meant for people who are eating alone and want some company. There is a YouTuber, Nikocado Avocado, who started his channel as a slim vegan, but turned to extreme mukbang videos, and he is now 350 plus pounds. I've never watched his videos, but I recently watched a video about him, and it was pretty shocking to take in his transformation. He somehow has 5.3 million subscribers and it just feels uncomfortable knowing that people support him when he's likely eating himself to death. There is a good video on him called "Is His Diet Really Frying His Brain?" which is also a bit on the dangers of junk food, and it's the saddest I've got a feeling I really don't want this in my search history. So in the most sterile way possible, could you explain what a mukbang is? It's just videos of people eating while talking with the viewers. The problem is that some of them eat a vulgar amount of unhealthy food, like thousands of calories in a single sitting, and it's gross. Basically watching someone eating, usually in excessive quantities. The word mukbang sounds worse than it actually is. Even though it's gross, their sound of eating is disgusting. Backquote funny videos of people or animals puking. Some people legit think that's funny. No, it's effing festy. What does festy mean? Aussie slang for gross. Vomiting is the #1 most disgusting autonomous human behavior ever. Imo. Anytime I see someone puke, even in a video, I have to resist the urge to puke too. I don't understand how anyone could watch it just for funsies. Mega tall burgers that nobody could actually eat, and burgers completely covered in cheese or sauce. If you can't taste everything in a single bite, your recipe/preparation is wrong. Big burgers should be wider, not taller. You've got a big burger offering. Break it down into multiple burgers, same amount of food. Do you have a shitload of melted cheese to offer? There are better ways than dousing a foot-tall burger in melted cheese. If you plan on people to eat it instead of just sharing it on Facebook/TikTok/Instagram. Exactly. I certainly don't want to have to unhinge my jaw just to eat a sandwich, no matter how awesome the burger looks. People making those tall burgers really think we are all shaggy. It never stays together anyway. Either you have more meat than bun or vice versa, or you lose almost all of your toppings on the plate. Pain in the A overall. Yeah. Also not a big fan. Used to go to this homegrown burger place. I like them. Had a funky hip style and a simple menu. 1/2/3x patty, cheese or without. It tasted good, even if they didn't offer any insane fixins. We went back a while back, and it looked like they were trying to check off the box on every fad. I enjoyed their original burger, so I went for that. Spoiler, it did not taste the same. My friend went for some cheesy slider melange. Waiter brings out a wooden paddle with the sliders and fries on it, and while we are just looking at the meal, "Hey, where's the cheese?" The waiter comes back, offers my friend a pair of plastic gloves, and before he could question what's going on, proceeds to just douse the whole meal with cheese, poured from a little jug, right in front of us. I think it was supposed to come off as some decadent tableside entertainment. It was just messy and disgusting, but my friend's face was hilarious. I enjoyed watching him eat that way more than eating my burger. I don't know what made them think patrons would prefer their food to where the cheese. We've not been back since. Change in kitchen management with a younger person now in charge, or an older person that sees these things on Facebook get millions of views, so they just have to do it. Surely it would lead to success for them, right? My big gripe with r/food. Drown something in cheese and everyone is ecstatic. If you can only make good food when drowning something in cheese or butter, you're a cook. One of my work colleagues. He's the biggest douchebag and poser ever, but except me everyone seems to like him. I've always wondered if everyone else also secretly hates those people. Because I'm professional at work, no one knows I hate her, so maybe they're all doing the same thing. It's called the missing stare phenomenon. The missing stare is a metaphor for a person within a social group who many people know isn't trustworthy or otherwise has to be managed, but who the group chooses to work around by trying to quietly warn others of their behavior rather than deal with them and their behavior openly. The missing stare in the metaphor refers to a dangerous structural fault, such as a missing step in a staircase. A fault that people may become used to and quietly accepting of, is not openly signposted or fixed, and that newcomers to a social group are warned about discreetly. Don't you hate that? I've known a few people that were absolute rotten a-holes, yet they seem to have so many people love them. It makes me feel like I'm going crazy sometimes. The people who I've known like that are extremely outgoing and liven up parties. So instead of seeing them for the douchebags that they are, everybody loves them because they're fun drunks or totally unpredictable in crazy ways. Check out Chet. He's doing headstands on the pool table and chugging beer through his nose while singing "It's the End of the World as We Know It." Dude's dated 9 women in the last year, and 3 of them have restraining orders. 1 dropped out of college to move back home to get away from him. AWW. Come on, man, why you gotta be like that? Chet's hilarious. Chet. Celebrity gossip. You're telling me you didn't want to know these 2 strangers with little to no impact on your life just had a baby? Or they got divorced and it's totally Celebrity A's fault because they are such a demeaning but PG insult. Mukbang. People who slam their friends' faces into birthday cakes. Just stop. Or wedding. I paid $300 for my hair and makeup to not have cake all over it. My family was a little worried my husband and I would do that. I'm not sure why. We both hated it. My husband wanted to feed me a tiny slice with a fork because he thought it was cute. I saw a story once where a woman's face was gored because her face was smashed into the cake due to it having a stabilizer dowel in it. Can confirm. My wife makes wedding cakes. Cakes will smash themselves if they don't have an internal structure holding a plate under each tier. Sometimes those plates are soft enough to just pound a wooden dowel through the center. Depending on how the decorator decided to go, you might have a sharpened wooden stake pointing upward an inch under the surface. I've seen lots of these videos and they usually only barely avoid losing an eye. We went to a birthday party for a 5-year-old this last summer. Her mom pushed her face into the cake right after she blew out the candles. Mom thought it was hilarious, but the little girl would not stop crying. She was so upset, and I felt terrible for her. What a betrayal from her mom. It ruined her party dress too. Like the woman who slammed her friend's face into a birthday cake that was held together with cocktail sticks. Birthday girl lost an eye. My bad, she almost lost her eye. I was 9. It was Easter Sunday, and we spent it at this park/lake about 30 miles from town. Lots of people went to this park, and my aunt's boyfriend at the time thought it would be so funny to smash my entire head and hair into the homemade bunny cake my aunt had spent hours making the night before. I cried. Like I said, 30 miles from home. Pictures with babies, or parents creating Facebook profiles in the name of their children, and that children are like 3 years old or less. I'd like to add family vloggers to this. Anyone willing to monetize their children through the invasive filming of their lives is absolutely disgusting. It's child labor and child exploitation in every sense of the word. Not to mention, imagine when the kids inevitably grow up and become their own person, which is most likely to rebel against their parents' values and target market. The scrutiny that they are going to face by strangers who think they know them because they've watched them grow up on YouTube. F that. My friend's wife was making an Instagram for her baby in the car on the way home from the hospital. Hundreds of posts in the first week. I've had to talk my friend off a ledge like 4 times now because he can't handle his son being treated like a fashion accessory. He doesn't even get to play with him or do anything with him because he needs to be Insta ready 24/7. Whenever these types of questions come, people will always say anything related to Bud's Law. Reddit has turned into an analingus enthusiast website that occasionally discusses other topics, which is strange. because I've been a member of acetas.com for a decade, but lately the forums are full of nothing but discourse about geopolitics, the future of humanity and some occasional existential musings. I've had to come to Reddit to see some good but chat. Are there relative of Colonel Angus? Anal. Yes, I've tried it. No, I don't like it. No, I won't like it with you. Yes, I'm sure. I hate when people get manipulative like this. I have my boundaries. You have your boundaries. Let's respect each other for them and just enjoy other in a mutually agreeable way. Reality TV shows. I really appreciate reality TV shows. I can be lazy, bookkeeping wise, but when every channel ever decided they needed to replace every other form of show with them, I'd finally had enough. So for the last decade or so, I've been saving at least $50 a month, and probably much more. Reality TV shows basically gave me over $6,000 at this point by weaning me from any non-streaming sort of video. I reached this point in the 90s. I realized I was coming home from work and watching TV that I didn't really enjoy. I'd waste hours every day on it. Finally, in a fit of self-loathing, I disconnected my TV and put it in the closet. I knew I was too lazy to go dig it out. I got back a nice usable chunk of living room, became a more productive, and got more sleep. When I went back to school, I sold my TV and hooked a VCR up to an old computer monitor, pre-VGA. It had RCA inputs to watch the occasional movie. I honestly never missed TV. When I got married, I didn't want another TV, but my wife insisted. I've watched some TV over the years, but I still get most of my entertainment from the web. About 4 years ago, she got sick of TV too. We cut the cord and switched to streaming services. We later gave up on most of those as well. I like not having the TV on. Home is so much more relaxing without it. My mother is getting up there in age, so my wife spends a lot of time at her house. We eat with her most evenings. She still has cable. It's amazing how much I've come to loathe Lifetime, Dr. Phil, Judge Judy, true crime dramas, etc. Oh, and Dr. Pimple Popper should only be available on the web after age verification and signing some form of waiver. Yuck. I truly believe dumping TV has turned out to be a serious improvement to my quality of life. It may not be that way for everyone, but I doubt I'll ever go back to it. Pictures with babies being gross, like with spaghetti all over their faces and that sort of thing. I do not get the appeal and doubt I ever will. Children are sticky a lot and it bothers me. Effine jam hands. Huck, I was at the airport last week, and where I was queuing to board the plane there was a long poster. I think it was for Bank, and it was like a collage of different life moments. People getting married, playing at a park, graduating, people hugging, etc. The very last picture was a baby absolutely covered in spaghetti all over his head and torso, and his sister, about 3 years old, also covered in spaghetti and rubbing it into his hair. Made me gag a little, like all I could think was how gross and annoying that would be to clean up, and how the kid would stink of spaghetti and drool. Was it a bank or condom ad? Oh my good god. This. Also images of very young kids / toddlers on the toilet, or potties, which seemed to be really popular in UK adverts for a while, for things like pull-ups or toilet paper. I hasten to add, not entirely randomly but still, wholly an accessory. I don't want to see some random kid covered in nor do I want to see it shting. Just no, blech, work, gag. There is a particular Scottish phrase that I'm hoping will translate to describe my strength of feeling on this. It just gives me the boke. It definitely does not translate, but somehow I still feel like I understand what you mean. My nephew had excellent coordination as a baby and could eat almost without getting dirty, even like before 1 year. But my nonsense still insisted she had to have one of these messy stupid pictures and rubbed spaghetti sauce all over him just to take a picture like this, faking he was a messy baby learning how to eat. That was plain idiotic. Kids acting like brats. My close friend got married recently, and at the rehearsal dinner, the husband's 4 to 5-year-old nephew wouldn't stop talking, refused to walk down the aisle. He was the ring bearer and threw a tantrum when he couldn't play with his dinosaur toys. The entire time, everybody was laughing like it was the cutest thing on the planet. It's crazy to me when people think that kind of behavior is funny / adorable. Well, I know I can't be the only one that finds them disgusting, but long fake nails, unless you have a serious case of hand washing OCD, there is no way That can be hygienic. I got a Subway sandwich once that had a long elaborately painted nail in it. I gagged for quite a while. This is my worst damn nightmare. YouTube Shorts. Yes, I see a channel I like. As a new video. See Shorts. Disappointment. Social media validation. I think this was a good post that you made. I appreciate your supportive comment. For that you have my validation. Take my upvote. There's 3,000 other idiots that agree with me. That means I'm right. It's just a really strong psychological effect. The rational part of my mind knows very well that how factually correct I am is completely unrelated to the number of upvotes I get. Yet the emotional part of my mind still feels incredibly validated. If I get lots of upvotes and starts to doubt myself. If I get lots of downvotes. It doesn't make sense, but it's very difficult not to be affected by it. Kissing dogs on their mouth. Or dogs licking their mouth. Also people sharing an ice cream cone with their dog. Just imagining the drool taste / smell they leave behind makes me uncomfortable. I don't even share an ice cream cone with my kids. Smoking. Chain smoker here. And I can agree that the habit is disgusting. Gender reveal parties. People. What a bunch of bastards. Dear sir or madam, I'm writing to inform you of a fire. Goddamn these electric sex pants. Gaping. Febreze air fresheners. Febreze was originally unscented, but people thought it didn't work. It does. So they started adding scents to it. I'm not sure if they still sell unscented Febreze, but it's a pretty killer product. I'm not shilling. I just work around food and my clothes always stink. I only get the air variety, which if it does have a scent it is very subtle. 100%. They make me instantly nauseous. Febreze doesn't mask smells. It actually removes them. People just didn't think it was working, so they added that horrible scent. So next time you smell it just remember it's completely unnecessary. Brother / sister / family porn. EWWWW. I personally do not care, because they're obviously not really brother and sister. So I just forget it. If they are brother and sister, then I wouldn't know what to say, especially since it started getting so popular they've just been labeling anything and everything step whatever, even if it's not the actual plot in the porno. Zit, cyst etc. Popping videos. Bruh, my grandma is stuck in a vicious cycle of zit popping videos on Facebook. At first she watched 1 or 2, then Facebook kept suggesting more and so she just watched them. Now she's almost exclusively watching zit popping videos for months. I'm sorry to have read this. Popping my own zits can be satisfying but anyone else's is just gross. Drive. Pimple popper makes me gag. How about the ones where they are pulling botfly larvae out of someone point, or pulling cockroaches and spiders out of people's ears? Oh yes, someone finally said it. It's effing disgusting. Truffles. The smell makes my stomach turn. I feel like there has to be some kind of bizarre conspiracy or truffle gatherer lobby or something for them to be so expensive. You really don't want to upset big truffle. Oysters. They're just like snot. And before you say you've gotta try oysters, Kilpatrick, adding bacon and sauce will make anything taste good. Tiger King. The guy is a sociopath who manipulated 2 young straight men into a sexual relationship, which ended in one of them committing suicide. Then he had the audacity to give the most tasteless eulogy in front of the guy's family. He's a predator, and I'm shocked that more non-straight and non-monogamous people aren't speaking up against him being released and getting more screen time. You forgot him ripping baby tigers from their moms, because baby tigers get more people into his zoo, feeding tigers horses he'd killed, and then killing the tigers that he didn't need, mistreating the animals he owned. He should be fed to a tiger, yeah. Not to mention the whole wildlife exploitation part. We were also distracted by his personal drama to notice the actual horrors of that series. I thought the horrors were the point. I finished the series glad that he was locked up, because society is better off. Well, Travis technically didn't commit suicide. He killed himself in an accident. Not the same thing. Joe Exotic is thankfully not being released from prison BTW. Not sure where you got that from, but I couldn't find anything about it online aside from a possible resentencing from 22 years down to 17 years. People praise the show, but I've never heard of anyone praising Joe Exotic himself. I think it's pretty universally accepted that he is a lunatic. Lip injections. You look like a clown. I don't get it. Any excessive botox, you wind up looking like a mannequin and can't move your face. That combined with the fake eyelashes just makes people look absolutely ridiculous, like a cartoon ostrich. ASMR. The sound ambience type are great though, you know, like wind or rain or whatsoever. Yes, I agree. I used to listen to these types of ASMR, like winter, rain, night forest etc. But and I cannot stress this enough, hate eating or whispering ASMR. I struggled with intrusive thoughts that gave me mild insomnia for like years until I found ASMR. I mostly listened whispering ones because they helped me feel like I had someone else with me, keeping me calm and not letting my thoughts wander. Eventually I started to like sleeping instead of dreading it, oftentimes wanting to sleep so badly that I just forgot to turn it on. And then after more time I could just fall asleep normally. I don't listen to ASMR much anymore, and if I do it's usually whispering in foreign languages, since I'll be reading. And if it's English it distracts me. I hate the ones that are people eating or licking the mic or weird kinkish like that. But the keyboard typing, or fire crackling, or pencil writing is pretty nice.